The night of the BTS concert in Baltimore, Maryland, became one of the moments that were discussed by fans. In the midst of the glittering stage, the lights, the crowd shouting, and the incredible energy of the ARMY, there was a moment between Jimin and Jungkook that immediately stole the attention. A warm hug from Jimin to Jungkook became one of the most talked about scenes. For some fans, the moment felt so emotional because it happened in the middle of a concert atmosphere that was filled with various feelings. Meanwhile, Jungkook's message to the fans also made the atmosphere even more touching. Pieces of video and photos from the moment were then shared by fans on various social media platforms. Many soldiers admitted that they were touched to see the closeness of the two BTS members, especially because the hug looked spontaneous and full of warmth. However, as always, the moment on stage also needs to be seen in the context of friendly relations, togetherness as group mates, and their interaction with the fans. There is no need to draw conclusions further than what is really visible. Baltimore witnesses BTS emotional moment. Every BTS concert always has its own story. Although the songs performed are the same or have a similar arrangement, the atmosphere in each city can feel very different. The reaction of the audience, the energy of the members, and the various spontaneous interactions on stage often create moments that cannot be repeated in the same way. Baltimore, Maryland, was one of the cities that brought the atmosphere. Since BTS was on stage, ARMY gave a great welcome. The sound of the audience filled the concert area and made the members get additional energy to continue to perform optimally. In such situations, small interactions between members can turn into big memories for fans. That was the case when Jimin and Jungkook were seen sharing a warm moment on stage. Jimin gave Jungkook a hug, and the fans' reaction was immediate. The cries of the audience seemed to indicate that the ARMY was aware of every little detail that was happening before them. The hug is not just a short gesture. To many fans, the scene felt like a simple reflection of the closeness and comfort that had built up between the members after years of traveling together. BTS has gone through many phases in their career. They grew up together, faced pressure together, performed in different countries, and repeatedly stood in front of tens of thousands and even more fans. Because of this, a simple interaction like a hug can feel very meaningful to the ARMY who have been following their journey for a long time. Jimin's hug immediately stole the attention. When Jimin hugged Jungkook, the audience's attention was instantly drawn to them. Moments like this are actually very simple. It does not require elaborate choreography, it does not require spectacular stage effects, and it does not require large productions. Just a hug. But precisely because of its simplicity, the moment seemed more natural to many fans. Jimin and Jungkook have spent years together as part of BTS. They have performed on various stages, traveled together, had long rehearsals, and faced various situations as a team. The closeness that was formed during the long journey certainly made their interaction on stage something that attracted attention. For ARMY, seeing two members who have been known for a long time to support each other can bring a sense of warmth. In the middle of a concert full of music and cheers, a hug is actually able to create an atmosphere that feels more intimate and emotional. It is not surprising that a fan camera then captured the moment. Various pieces of video began to circulate. Some fans noticed Jimin and Jungkook's facial expressions. Others focus more on the audience's reaction. There are also ARMY who consider that the moment shows how strong the bond of friendship and togetherness of the BTS members after a long journey together. Jungkook and a message that makes the atmosphere even more haru. In addition to Jimin and Jungkook's interaction, fans' attention was also drawn to Jungkook's message. In BTS concerts, the message to the ARMY is often one of the most awaited parts. After passing through a series of performances, the members usually have the opportunity to speak more personally to the audience. It is at times like this that the atmosphere of a concert can change drastically. From the previous one full of energy and cheers, the atmosphere can change to a calmer one when a member starts speaking from the heart. Jungkook is known to often express gratitude to fans for the support given during BTS's career journey. For an idol who performs in various countries, seeing thousands of fans sing songs together is certainly a very emotional experience. Because of this, Jungkook's message in Baltimore became one of the parts that the ARMY paid much attention to. Many fans felt that Jungkook's words were not just a greeting after the concert. They see it as a form of appreciation to the people who continue to support BTS. After years of traveling as a group, fan support certainly means a lot. Each concert is a reminder that BTS's music is able to bring together people from different countries and backgrounds. And Baltimore is one of the places where the relationship between BTS and ARMY again feels so strong. Why can a simple moment be so thrilling? This question probably comes to mind for many. Why can a hug be a big talk? The answer lies not only in the hug itself. For BTS fans, each member has a long journey that they have followed. They not only watch idols perform on stage, but also follow their development from time to time. Therefore, small interactions can have a much greater emotional context. Jimin hugging Jungkook is not just seen as a short scene. Fans see it as part of the journey of two people who have grown up together as BTS members. They were on small stages. They then expanded to perform in major arenas in various countries. They face hectic schedules, long journeys, rehearsals, interviews, awards, and the various pressures that come with global popularity. All of those experiences form a bond that's hard to explain with just one photo or video. So when Jimin gave Jungkook a hug, some of the ARMY felt like they were looking at a small piece of the long journey. That's what makes the moment feel special. ARMY reaction immediately flooded social media. Not long after the moment was spotted, fans began sharing snippets of videos and photos on social media. Comments also came. Some say that they are not ready to see the moment. Some admit to being overwhelmed. Others said that the simple hug became one of their favorite parts of the concert. Some fans even zoomed in on the footage to see Jimin and Jungkook's facial expressions more clearly. Social media does have a unique way of making concert moments evolve very quickly. A single video can be shared by thousands of accounts in no time. Then came the various angles of shooting from different audiences. A moment that initially lasted only a few seconds ended up becoming a discussion for hours. This shows how much attention ARMY pays to every detail of BTS's appearance. However, in the midst of such enthusiasm, it is important for fans to still distinguish between what is really visible and personal interpretation. A hug is a hug. A message is a message. The feelings felt by fans are legitimate and part of their experience, but that doesn't mean all interpretations of the members' personal relationships should be taken as fact. Precisely by maintaining these limits, beautiful moments on stage can still be enjoyed without causing unnecessary speculation. Jimin and Jungkook's closeness is always in the spotlight. Jimin and Jungkook are two BTS members who often get great attention when interacting on stage. The two have worked together for many years. On various occasions, fans can see how they joke with each other, support each other, and interact as group mates. Since their popularity is so great, even a few seconds of interaction can become the subject of conversation. However, it also shows that fans really appreciate the relationship of togetherness within BTS. Moments like the embrace in Baltimore can be seen as a form of support between members of the group. Behind the big show with spectacular choreography and production, BTS remains made up of 7 individuals who have spent most of their career traveling together. There were times when they laughed together. There was a time when they encouraged each other. There are also times when they look emotional. It's all part of the BTS journey. Concerts are not just about music. When it comes to BTS concerts, one might immediately imagine the popular songs, choreography, stage settings, lights, and thousands of fans. But the actual concert experience is much broader than that. Concerts are about the relationship between the artist and the audience. When a member speaks to ARMY, the audience feels as if they are being invited into a more personal conversation. When a member smiles, fans feel happiness. When a member looks emotional, the atmosphere of the arena can turn very quiet. And when two members share a hug, the audience can feel the warmth that comes from that moment. That's the power of live performance. There is something that cannot be completely replaced by recording. Although the video can be rewatched many times, the experience of being in the arena and witnessing the moment live is still different. The ARMY in Baltimore certainly has its own memories. It's not just BTS concerts. They became part of an evening that was later remembered by many fans around the world. Jungkook's message makes the moment even more meaningful. One of the reasons why the atmosphere got even more emotional was because the interactions on stage were then accompanied by messages from Jungkook. For fans, a message from an idol they've supported for years certainly has sentimental value. Jungkook is one of the members who has gone through a long journey with BTS. From an early career to becoming one of the most recognizable names in the global music industry, the change certainly didn't happen overnight. There's a lot of hard work behind it. There was a long workout. There was a trip. There's pressure. There was a failure. There are successes. And there is fan support that continues to be present. Therefore, when Jungkook speaks to the ARMY, every word can feel more meaningful. Fans don't just hear a singer speak. They heard someone they had followed for years express his gratitude. This made Jungkook's message one of the most emotional parts of the evening. ARMY remembers BTS' long journey. Many soldiers who witnessed the moment in Baltimore later recalled the long journey of BTS. This group has gone through many phases, from small stages to large stadiums, from local promotions to performing in front of fans from all over the world. The journey is certainly not always easy. Therefore, each concert has its own meaning. When BTS stands on stage and sees thousands of people singing their songs, there's a sense of accomplishment that's hard to describe. For fans who have been following the journey for a long time, the moment was also a reminder of how much things have changed. Yet something remains the same: togetherness of the members. That is why a simple interaction like Jimin's hug for Jungkook can bring nostalgia. Fans seem to look back on BTS's journey from time to time, a moment that will continue to be talked about. In the K-pop world, a concert moment can live much longer than the duration of the show itself. After the stage lights are turned off and the audience leaves the arena, photos and videos will remain in circulation. Fans will edit the clip. They will make a compilation. They will share screenshots. They will talk about the expressions of the members. And finally, one simple moment can become part of the collective memory of the fandom. Jimin and Jungkook's embrace in Baltimore has the potential to be one of those moments. Not because the hug should be perceived as something more than that, but because the moment happened at the right time and atmosphere. The concert is ongoing. ARMY is giving tremendous energy. Jungkook delivered a message to fans. And Jimin gave support to Jungkook. All of these elements combine into a scene that feels warm. The importance of enjoying the moment without excessive speculation. When an interaction goes viral, speculation is usually unavoidable. Fans have their own interpretation. Some see it as friendship. Some see it as a form of support between members. There are also those who consider the moment very emotional due to their long history of being together. Everyone certainly has a different way of enjoying their idol's content. But the most important thing is to respect the privacy limits of the members. Not all gestures should be given personal meaning. Not all smiles mean something hidden. And not all hugs need to be associated with rumors. Sometimes a hug is just a form of affection and support between two people who have worked together for a long time. It is precisely simplicity that makes it beautiful. Baltimore and memories for the ARMY. For the ARMY who attended in person, the concert was certainly a memory that is difficult to forget. They came with light sticks. They sang songs together. They shouted the names of the members. They capture the moment with the camera. And they come home with a story that they will probably tell for years. For those unable to attend, social media is a window into the concert atmosphere. Through videos shared by fans, ARMY from other countries can see how Baltimore is feeling. They can watch the reaction of the audience. You can see the interaction between members. And of course, they can see the moment when Jimin hugs Jungkook. That's the power of global fandom. One moment can connect fans who have never even met each other. Why is Jungkook's message so memorable? An idol's message to fans always has its own emotional power. especially if it is delivered after a series of exhausting performances. They put their energy on the stage. They sing. They dance. They interact with the audience. When the time finally comes to speak from the heart, the atmosphere usually becomes much calmer. Jungkook took advantage of the moment to express his gratitude and appreciation to the ARMY. For fans, such messages serve as a reminder that their support is not taken for granted. Every ticket purchased, every song you listen to, any album supported, every positive message is given. It's all part of BTS' long journey. And when Jungkook expressed his gratitude, fans felt that the relationship between BTS and ARMY wasn't just about the stage. There is a sense of mutual support. There are memories. There was a joint trip. Small moments, big meaning. In the end, perhaps it is precisely the little things that are most memorable from a concert. Not just stage effects. Not just costumes. Not just a song with spectacular choreography. But also a spontaneous smile. Short joke. Look between the members. Hugs. Or a simple phrase spoken from the heart. Jimin's embrace of Jungkook in Baltimore became an example of how a small gesture can have a big impact on fans. For Jimin and Jungkook, maybe it was just one of the interactions during the concert. But for the ARMY who witnessed it, the moment can be a very valuable memory. Especially when the moment is side by side with Jungkook's emotional message to fans. It is not surprising that later many people called it one of the most touching moments of the concert. ARMY didn't just see BTS, they followed their journey. One of the things that makes BTS's fandom so strong is the emotional connection it's built over the years. ARMY doesn't just know BTS songs. They also get to know the different phases of the group's journey. They see the members grow. They see a change in musical style. They see the development of the stage. They witnessed how BTS faced various challenges. Therefore, concerts become a kind of celebration of joint travel. When Jimin hugged Jungkook, fans probably didn't just see the two members standing on stage. They see two people who have grown up together. And when Jungkook delivered a message to the ARMY, they didn't just hear an idol say the words. They hear someone who has been a part of their life for many years. This is the reason why BTS concerts can feel so emotional. Baltimore keeps its own story. Every city has a story. Every place has an atmosphere. And every concert night has a different moment. Baltimore now has one of those memories that fans will continue to share. Jimin and Jungkook's embrace became one of the pieces of the story from that night. Jungkook's message became the other part. ARMY reaction became no less important part. When all of those things are combined, it creates an experience that is greater than just a musical performance. That's what makes the concert special. Not only what was planned, but also what happened spontaneously. And it is precisely spontaneous moments like these that are often the most memorable part. Not just viral, but memorable. When a video goes viral, public attention usually lasts only a short time. But for fans who experience the moment firsthand, the value can be much longer. For the ARMY in Baltimore, the hug may be one of the scenes they remember most. For the ARMY at home, the videos circulating may be the reason they smile. And for BTS themselves, the concert became another part of their journey with fans. That is why moments like these should not always be overlabeled. No need to draw unknown conclusions. No need to invent rumors. It is enough to enjoy the warmth and camaraderie seen on stage.